gather ye friends around your flickering campfires and listen to tales of daring, horror and high adventure from the worn pages of history.
That's a bit of a lazy introduction.
It was, wasn't it? Especially for
the silly hipstery boys shoe.
He's keeping his powder dry for the second part of Rollo the Viking. Now I hear Rollo is voiced by an absolute dish of a hottie.
Yes, family show. In the last episode, we left the lofty Viking chief Rollo sailing the largest Viking fleet ever into the capital of 9th century France, Paris.
Well, technically, Paris wasn't the capital of France in those days, and in fact, technically, France wasn't French.
Go Dark Ages!
Son of a... Pont d'Arche, on the River Seine, in the French countryside, kind of.
Ooh, a nice second home, early retirement, naughty parties.
Not in 885 AD, Uncle Bilbo. Pont d'Arche is a fortress. 2 great towers which guard a bridge across a river defended by 200 of West Francia's finest.
Bonjour, ça va, my lad?
Bonjour, ça va, monsieur le garde?
Anything to report from Le River?
Lads in tracksuits fishing without permits, ducks fighting, or possibly...
Keep it clean.
Okay, definitely fighting. Right, also, the following crisp packets floated past. Chipsticks, original, Monster Munch, flaming hot, and the much-lamented Brannigan's ham and pickle.
Aye, sir. Would you be awfully spiffing and lift up your charming bridge to let us pass?
Goh, a boatload of oddly broad-shouldered old ladies. I was expecting Vikings.
Hello, it's me, Lady Cynthia Fitz-Alan Shearer of the Allenmouth Narrowboat and Fox Hunting Club. Me and the ladies would hoping to continue our cucumber sandwich and austerity canal boat trip.
Right you are, miss. Raising the bridge.
Wait, does something feel a little off to you?
A conservative narrowboat holiday in the French countryside, avoiding the results of their governance? Not really, no.
The front of that narrow boat looks a bit like a dragon's head.
Oh, you don't think? Could they be Vikings?
I think it's just possible. Oi! No closer, ladies, till we see some proof!
How's that for our credentials, you Francian Doyle?
Lads, row!
From the bowels of the narrowboat holiday, a figure rises. An impossibly tall figure, with an axe as massive as it is at odds with the floral dress that he is wearing.
For 'tis the dread Viking lord Rollo the Walker, resplendent in Dorothy Perkins' finery.
Hey!
The grappling rope tightens against the bridge.
Hey!
The timbers groan and creak.
Go on, lads.
And with a final beardy haul, the floral Vikings drag the great bridge of Pont d'Arche down into the river.
Well done, lads. Now, let's get nicking.
Should we take our dresses off, boss?
I dunno, actually. I find this frock quite freeing.
I'm loving the purple hair, boss.
Well, who says we can't also conquer a few stereotypes about Vikings as well, eh?
I hear there's some toxic attitudes out there, but we can challenge, boss.
Well said, Jerry. Right, let's kill 'em all and burn their houses down.
The fire and bearded mayhem spreads across France. The Viking armies follow the rivers like store detectives followed a teenage Tombo.
Those flat-bottomed boats make the Viking world go round, listener. They allowed Rollo and his Naughty Raiders to move quickly along rivers.
The Vikings had done the same thing in England, but in France, things were not so easy.
The Frankians built bridges that stopped the Vikings using the rivers like motorways. Unfortunately, the next bridge big enough to stop them is 70 miles away in a little town called Paris. That's Paris.
Aha! Bonjour, pardon, lad. Excuse me, I'm just up riding my bike with onions round my neck on this stereotype of a morning.
Bonjour, Count.
What did you call me?
Bonjour, Count Odo of Paris, which is who you are.
Oh, yes, sorry. I mean, pardon.
Crepe?
What is your problem, man?
A crepe? A thin pancake for you, 'cause you're Count of Paris.
Oh, right, yes, no problem, thank you. I'd love one. Just sugar and lemon for me, please, and Biscoff and fudge and Nutella.
No problem, Count Odo. Now that'll be €85, please.
Flipping H, heck. It's a good job I'm the count of a very rich river city. And hopefully no grave misfortune will change that anytime soon.
Vikings! Oh no. Vikings! Vikings, you count!
Good Bishop, what is the meaning of this? Running through the city shouting Vikings.
Vikings!
Stop that! You'll make people think the Vikings are coming and cause a terrible panic.
Vikings are coming! They've broken through the defences at the mouth of the Seine and overcome the fortress at Pont d'Arc, and they're on their way here.
Oh no! Panic!
We're doomed!
Oh, now look what you've done! You've caused a panic! Now quick, we must get word to the king. Paris has high walls and the river to protect us, but if we are put under siege, we won't last long without help.
Fear not, you count. I am Bishop Goslan, the Dark Age fighting bishop. I shall see to the defences and deal with the heathen. Now, who stands with me?
Oh, knickers.
Meanwhile, not far from Paris, the Viking Horde has gathered for a council of war.
Right, hello everyone. Settle down, taps glass. I call this meeting of the Viking Horde to order. Thank you everyone very much for coming. Now, this evening is really about just getting to know one another. So I've asked everyone to write their name on a sticker and put the sticker somewhere visible on their clothing.
This council is to devastate this land with fire, sword, and full contact reenactment.
Oh, well, of course, that. But even Vikings need to sort out an itinerary, mister. I'm so sorry you're not wearing your sticker, so I don't know your name.
I wear no sticker. I am Lord of War.
Well, that's kind of your job and not your name, so what is your name?
I am Lord of War.
Again, that's not really what I asked you.
Lord of War.
Fine, write it on your sticker then.
Lord of War.
There you are. That wasn't so hard, was it? Although that's not how you spell Lord, or of, or war, in fact.
Enough talk. Enough stickers. The Lord of War hungers for battle.
And I, Rollo the Walker, hunger for sense and manners.
I offend you, Rollo. Oh, how does it feel to be so weak that mere words can hurt you?
It can't be worse than this.
Oh, my real name is Sinri.
Sorry about that. This seems to me that this should be a cash basis raid.
Ooh, gosh, you kicked him from nearly the other side of the tent.
I'm tall. Get over it. Oh, this attack on Paris is like having Mike Tyson read the CBeebies bedtime story. Very risky. According to my intelligence specialist...
Hiya! The defences of Paris in 885 AD are formidable. Not only is the entire city located on an island, but there are high walls and 2 bridges defended by massive towers.
Paris has been Vikinged in the past, and they're getting fed up of it. I suggest we take our tops off, look scary, and see if they'll give us some money to go away.
Coward! Coward! Yellow chicken!
Chill out, Short Rick. I'm trying to earn us some coin so you can buy lifts for your shoes.
My men lust for full contact reenactment. Perhaps if you have no hunger for battle, Lord Rollo, then you may guard our backs as the true warriors assault the city.
I'd certainly enjoy watching you and your daft pals get killed, Short Rick.
Oh, it's Lord of War! Well, that is 2 very good points from Lord Rollo and Lord Sinric. Perhaps a show of hands. all in favour of tops off for Danegeld, name of my band in Carthage? Right, all in favour of Viking up Paris in an orgy of full contact?
Full contact, reenactment.
Oh, and there we are, the Ras have it, I think.
Knock yourselves out. There'll be all the more gold for me once you're all dead.
All right, Cheryl, be honest. Will this hurt?
Well, it might sting, but you'll be super smooth, my lord.
Okay, well, look, don't tell me when you tear the strips off, because the suspense will be... Ah! Ah! Ah!
All done.
Cheryl, that was very painful indeed.
I know.
Cheryl, I want you and your beauticians ready on the walls.
The leg waxers of Paris shall sell our lives dearly, my lord.
I thank you, Cheryl. You may not be 100% historically accurate, but you do a very good job of illustrating the point that everyone in Paris has run away, leaving only 200 people to defend the city.
No worries. I'll get you into wax the rest of you in the week. See you later, bye. Sir, I must protest. Opening doors unbalances my creative energies.
Ah, you must be the poet, Abbo Cernuus. Thank you for coming.
Indeed, good Count. I wonder if I could impose upon you for a large glass of absinthe.
Later, master. First I must tell you of your task. Now, I want you...
Oh, the ennui! A poet's curse, good Count. I must press you for a glass of something lest I be struck down by this terrible condition.
The ennui, you say? In the 9th century? Oh, well, it is Paris, I suppose. All right, here you are.
Thank you, good Count. Oh, it's the 83. Do you have any of the 82? It's a superior vintage.
Listen, Abbo. I'm in the middle of planning this city's resistance against the biggest army of Vikings ever. I have defences to prepare, and I must send word to the king.
Sir, I am a creative, a poet and writer, and I cannot work with inferior wine.
Look, Abbo, when the Vikings arrive, I really want to stand on top of the wall and say, so it begins. I want you to write an account of what happens in the coming siege so that future generations can make a stupid podcast about it that isn't really a podcast.
Very well, good Count. If you can supply me with an abundant source of liquid creativity, then I shall write you an 100% accurate account of the siege of Paris.
Oh my gosh, I better get to the wall. Wait, don't start until I've said it.
Count Odo runs to the wall and looks out into the night.
He sees the 9th century equivalent of chuggers walking up the path.
Vikings. The most Vikings ever.
So it begins. Yes.
The war horns blare, and from the darkness outside the city come black shapes of nightmare.
Row on row of beards and undercuts lit by flickering torches.
In the red firelight, one could mistake them for an army of hipster barbers.
Were it not for the glint of axes, swords, and spears.
Forward!
On come the Vikings, a tide of facial hair and metal, towards the towers of the North Bridge, the bridge that leads to the city.
From the walls, the citizens of Paris watch their doom approach.
Carnage now, lads! This is the bit where I shout, hold! For no very good reason.
The beards reach the wall. Some thump their scaling ladders against the stone.
While others heave up a great iron-shod tree and slam it against the gates of Paris.
Hold! Hey, that was a good one.
For the Lord of War! Oh, gosh, we're so manly, you!
The ram crashes into the gate as the murderous Northmen begin to climb.
Paris belongs to the Lord of War!
Hey, yo! Beardy! Stitch this, yo! Cheryl! Now!
Wax on!
Oh! Oh, it burns! Oh, damn smooth!
and the beauticians of Paris hurl from the tower clay pots of boiling wax and pitch.
The scalding mixture seeps through the mail and bursts into flames, till the Northmen can stand no more and run, slipping and screaming, back into the waxy darkness.
The first assault on Paris has failed, but meanwhile...
Yeah, boss! The lads from the first attack are back!
And how are they?
Dead! Oh, really smooth. Here, maybe we should help out, boss. After all, you are Rollo the Walker. You are like, the main character in that.
Calm down, Jerry. We don't get history famous by rushing to get back and cracked to death by boiling wax. For now, you can call me Rollo the Waiter.
But like in a restaurant.
Shush, Jerry.
All right.
Dawn breaks. The smell of croissant and singed beard drifts over the Viking camp.
Despite their defeat at the hands of the beauticians of Paris, the next wave of Northmen approach.
Advance, my warriors! The patisseries will be ours to despoil. We are Odin's chosen.
Actually, most of us are Christians. By this point, we love the Jesus.
Shut up! The housecarls of Barak Skull Smasher will carry this city of the Franks away on our spear points.
We shall punch through its tiny walls.
Shall step on it like it's a puny Lego castle.
Stepping on the Lego is the worst, or should I say, the worst. If it was sausage Lego.
Shut up! Outcarls! Advance!
The second Viking attack beards its way toward the city.
What bishop they coming?
Born, that it's time to begin the service. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today on the wars of 9th century Paris to unite these giant crossbows with these giant crossbow bolts. May these two kindred souls be joined together in the sight of God and his mates. To fly from these walls and impale 9 Vikings in a row like a giant kebab. This we pray. Amen. Fire!
And after the patisseries, we shall despoil yet more French stereotypes. Maybe we will go to the Montmartre and not buy any art, or perhaps purchase a beret.
Oh, incoming!
Their puny munitions will not stop Barak Skull Smasher and... I'm hit!
Me too!
And me.
Now we are all hit with the same arrow! That doesn't seem very likely.
It's what I wrote in the chronicle.
Okay, fine. Come on. Let us carefully walk back and get first aid.
Come! Careful, boss. We're all stuck together.
I am being careful. The first aid is this way.
This way.
Ow!
Damn this silly show and the silly chronicle it is based on.
Despite the Vikings' numbers and ferocity, the siege goes on.
Autumn turns to winter, and the Viking camp is wreathed in snow.
Having expected an easy victory, the Northmen are not prepared for the cold.
Black smoke rises from white snowy fields as the starving Danes plunder the countryside.
But the people have gone and taken their food with them. Things are getting desperate.
You are positive that this is going to work, Sinric?
Lord of War?
I'm sorry, it's just that...
You think that loading ships with all our firewood, lighting them on fire, and floating them downriver to destroy the bridges is too risky?
I do, yes.
Well, tough. Light 'em up and let loose, boys! Watch them, my friend, blazing like mighty Suter towards our cowering enemies. Watch as they scorch the meager defenses of our feeble foes, and witness as they...
Burn too quickly and just sink before they get anywhere near the bridges?
Yeah.
You
fool! You witless, macho fool! I'm gonna pinch and slap you so hard. Come here!
Ow! Stop pinching me! Your nails are really sharp!
Signed for Lord Rollo. We need someone with 2 brain cells to rub together.
The people of Paris give a thin cheer as they watch the fire ships flounder.
But their joy rings as hollow as their bellies. For weeks the Count's soldiers and the people of the city have held against the Viking Horde, but now they are starving.
And now, when the need is greatest, a hooded figure rides a thin horse toward the gate.
Who disturbs my siege nap? You best not be doing a runner, mysterious figure.
It is I, Bishop.
Out, you massive Count! Are you sneaking out?
I'm not proud of it, Bishop. But you saw those ships today. Those cow-headed barbarians are getting desperate. And they'll try something soon. And they'll try something big. And I fear that the people are too tired and too hungry to take much more.
Oh, so you're doing a Cameron and leaving the rest of us to face the music?
I'm going for help. I'm going to one of the kings from episode 77 of the Silly History Boys show. Hold the city, Bishop. Hold it till I can return with help.
Very well, my son. But if you don't come back, I will say a mass for you.
I thank you for your prayers, Bishop.
While I'm stood on your head, which will be face down in the font.
Yes. Thank you, Bishop.
I hear that I'm needed in my own episode again.
Yes, the siege of Paris is really dragging on.
I thought it would. All it needed was a page of narration with some battle noises behind it.
We got carried away, Rollo. But now that we see that you were right, despite the cold, we are willing to take our tops off to persuade the city to give us some money to go away.
That will not work now. Burning your ships. Getting turned into giant kebabs. Waxed to death. You're coming across all kinds of desperate.
Well, then what shall we do?
Tell us, please.
Our ships. We need to dismantle them.
All through the night, the citizens were disturbed by the ominous sounds of busy Vikings.
As dawn broke and the hungry defenders on the wall split half a croissant and a teeny tiny black coffee between 8 people, they beheld a terrible sight.
The Vikings had made their own bridge from boats, and they swarmed across the river and onto the island.
With them they carried great wooden screens fashioned from the planks of their ships.
These they placed at the foot of the walls.
All right, lads. Dig this.
Dig what, boss?
Paris, lads. If we can't get over that wall, we'll go under it. Now dig.
And so a terrible race against time and dirt ensues.
Undermining harder than Pear Bear on a work Zoom call.
I dig that, listener, because I've put me notice in.
All the while the defenders hurl rocks, timbers and the first round ballots from the French election. Anything heavy that might slow their scrambling enemies down.
But there is no slowing them. The Longship timbers guard all, and soon a tunnel snakes deep under the walls. Down in the darkness, the Northmen delve like unionized dwarves.
They hew a passage wide enough and tall enough even for Rollo the Walker to lend his main character muscles to.
Almost there, lads. See what happens when you let your leading man in.
Heathen, I baptize thee in the name of my faith, in the name of my boots, and in the name of my mace.
Through the tunnel wall comes an underground movement even more fatal than Warhol.
Subterranean charge!
For the bishop and his men have dug a counter-tunnel, and now they come crashing through the wall for a first on this show.
An underground battle! Clammy steel echoes in the stifling shaft as men crash together in the dusty darkness.
Barely room to swing a cat, let alone a sword. Rollo and the bishop cannon off walls and scramble in the dirt, hewing at one another.
Watch where you're swinging that mace, Vicar. You'll bring the roof down on all of us.
I care not. You swine are halfway to the hell your wickedness has earned you!
Oi! Some of us are planning on getting to the end of this episode. Take this!
Down goes the bishop as Rollo gets to work, thrusting his Dane axe like a spear in the gloom.
Take this, you Frankish get!
Down go the Franks, whacked like whack-a-moles in some hellish carnival of darkness.
And as he ploughs forward, Rollo can see light at the end of the tunnel.
The far side, the city and glory beckon at the end of his axe.
Follow me, lads. The Paris underground is ours.
Mind the gap!
Seeing the Vikings pouring down into the tunnel, the dying bishop swings a mighty blow at the timbers holding up the roof.
And brings the Viking mine crashing down on both sides.
Embrace me, O Lord! Your servant is coming!
Burying all in tons of earth and entertaining conjecture.
Oh, knickers.
The dust is still settling as night falls.
No defender can raise their voice to cheer, such is their exhaustion, but they have survived.
And under a pall of doom and dust, an army is on the move.
From the walls, the garrison watch the flickering torches move about the city and fade into the night. For the first time since the siege began, the Viking camp is quiet.
But at the foot of the wall, the earth moves.
A miracle that would make the bishop turn in his fresh grave, for Rollo the Walker lives.
Wow, that last number brought the roof down.
Boss? Boss! Oh, thank Odin's barricade you're alive!
It'll take more than dropping the capital of France on me head to stop me, lads. Next time, we'll try 2 spots at once. They can't cover the whole place.
Well, there's a bit of a problem with the we part of that plan, boss.
What kind of problem?
I hear they've gone, boss. Siegfried and Cedric have taken their armies and abandoned the siege.
Those craven slugs. So we're on our own.
Oh, don't worry, you Viking duckheads. There's plenty of company for you. For I, Odo, Count of Paris, have returned with an army from the king. So you better get running, yo!
Run, lads. Run. Quite fast. Run!
Run away! The siege of Paris was at long last coming to an end.
About time. A few lines of narration and some battle noises would have handled that.
Yes, all right. The king trapped Rollo's army in its camp, but then retreated because there was nothing to eat.
Oh, come on.
After this, the remaining Vikings tried to fill in the river with earth and dead animals so they could cross it, but, unsurprisingly, that didn't work.
And after that, it rained so hard that one of the bridges broke and stranded 12 of the Count's soldiers in the North Tower.
Rollo led the assault that took the tower.
Charge!
The 12 defenders refused to surrender, and hairdressers of Saint-Germain, prepare for glory! Rah! There were no survivors.
But that was pretty much that. Abandoned by his allies, with the river too deep and his army too exhausted, Rollo made terms with Count Odo.
He was paid £700 of silver to go away, which, after it had been shared among his men, seemed like a lot of effort for not much coin.
Like a silly history point gig.
But in a sluggy move of the highest proportions, Odo allowed Rollo and his men to drag their boats to the next river along, the Marne, and attack the neighbouring county of Burgundy instead.
Oh good, so it wasn't a totally wasted journey.
It was not, but France had become a totally wasted country. Factions arose from the carnage, with different Frankish nobles making terms with the Vikings and then setting them on their neighbours.
After even more awfulness, 2 men managed to swing it so it worked for them. The first was Count Odo, who ended up getting made the new king of the Franks.
Even though there was another king already. Mind you, that geezer was called Charles the Simple, so not much in the way of competition there.
Shoo, you don't make me get the history broom. Keep the history people off the narration.
Oh! Did you know that my ancestors would become the Capetian dynasty that would rule France for the next 400 years? Well, it's true.
The other person to make this awfulness work for him was, of course, our old pal, Rollo the Walker, who is summoned to a truce with the now King Odo's rival, Charles the Simple.
They should be here by now. I'm not minded to wait around here while I could be punching things and setting them on fire.
They do call him Charles the Simple, don't they? Maybe he got lost.
That's easily done. I once spent 18 months in the cupboard under the stairs looking for me shoes.
It was a beautiful honeymoon.
That it was. Oh, how we danced.
Quiet, you dafties. There's something coming.
Dancing, you know it, baby. Hello! Would you like a lick of my battery?
Yes, please.
We're all right for batteries, thank you. What do you want with us, King?
Well, as you may know, political instability caused by Viking raids and rivalries between the nobility has caused the Kingdom of Francia to descend into civil war. There are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 kings of Francia, of which I, Charles the Simple, am one. I needs must end the strife in my realm if I am to be seen as a viable monarch. And so, therefore, I have prepared a proposal.
How romantic! Say yes, my lord. I love a wedding.
I'm flattered, but I consider myself married to the sea.
No, you silly Vikings. Gosh, you're all so daft. You're way sillier than all the reenactors that Jorvik Vikings tend to make you out to be. I offer you land. In the top left-hand corner of my country, there is a place that you might call home.
Jog on, mate. That bit's on fire.
And everyone's dead.
I know it is. You set it on fire, you cheeky Vikings.
You'll have to do better than that, you silly proto-Frenchman. Dodged a bullet there, Malone.
We accept.
What?
Think of it, lads. A place to call home. A place to hang our helmet up after a long raid. A place to throw your clothes on floor at the end of the day. A drive to park the Longship on. I've not known a home since I were a boy.
Oh, yay, Vikings to play with. These are my terms. You must pay homage to me as king and stop murdering and stealing.
Oh.
In addition, you must all become Christian and stop being naughty pagans. Oh. And last of all, to show that you are serious, Rollo, you must now kiss my feet.
Kiss your feet? As a chief, as a warrior, as a man, I refuse to abase myself in such a shameful manner. What of you can do it?
What?
Hurry up, we haven't got all day. Go on, Chris, you've got the nicest mouth.
Fine. Lift your foot up then. I'm not bending down. I'm a hot-bod Viking, you know.
Yeah, I'm a king, so you have to bend down and kiss my feet. Look, we've got pictures of duckies on.
Give 'em here.
Wow! Ow! Ow! Oh no, they've fallen on me royal bum-bum.
Mwah! There, done.
Nice one, Chris. Now it's time for the Walker to have a lovely sit down.
Hooray! And so it came to pass that Rollo's man kissed the king's foot,
Knocking the king on his bottom by lifting said foot off the ground to snog it.
making Rollo the Duke of the top left-hand corner of France.
Many of the naughty Northmen in France flocked to the hip new Viking settlement.
And it became known as the Land of the Northmen, or, as we know it, Normandy.
Home of some of the worst history people in history. The Normans.
Normandy, la la la, Normandy, la la la. Over the next 100 years, the Northmen of Normandy would change fully into the tapestry baddies.
They'd swap their longships for horses and drop their Norse language for French.
They'd also fully bin their Viking gods and become Christians.
They were incredible builders, churches, cathedrals, and, more ominously, castles.
Their main exploit was, of course, awfulness, as Normandy was not big enough for the Normans.
And soon people all over the medieval world would feel the full force of their awfulness.
But it all started with the leggy legend Rollo the Walker, 1st Duke of Normandy.
So, 1066 next week then?
No.
Never mind 1066, we're still deep in the silliest summer ever, and by silly I mean busy.
Come on, let's cram the pool noodles and trebuchet into the car and get going.
Well, hang on, let's finish the episode, shall we?
Fine, but I'm starting the history mobile.
And for all the human kebabs, people going, "Ah!" as they fall in the water, and the full contact reenactment.
We are, as always,
sorry! Worth our last Rollo. See what we did there. Or episode 91 of the Silly History Boys show was written and presented to you by the Silly History Boys. The parts of Rollo, our titular main character, and Huskarl Tom were ably played by Tom Tombo Fermor. The parts of Odo of Paris, Jerry, Siegfried, King Charles the Simple, and Barak Skull Smasher were played for you by Rob, your dear Uncle Bob Bond. The parts of Gardy Bilbo, Sinric, Viking Chris, Bishop Gazlan, the fighting bishop, Lee Bilbo, a generic Yorkshire French soldier, and Huskarl Will were played by Will, Uncle Bilbo Tristram. And the parts of Gardy Pear Peasant, Abbo, the ennui suffering poet, Viking Stew, and Huskarl Stew were played by me, Stew Bear Perry. Oh, I also played Cheryl, a courageous beautician, but there's a space on the cast list, and that confused me, boys and girls. So, thank you very much for listening this week. Sorry there's been such a big gap, but we've all been very busy, and we are very busy over the next few weeks, but we've got a couple of shows lined up for you, so hopefully there won't be too many gaps, but we are all over the country. I should have written a list of where we are, but I haven't done that, and I'm in a bit of a rush because I'm off to do stuff this evening, and I'm running out of time because this show has to go out tomorrow, so it's a bit of a garbled credits because I've left it to the last minute to do it. But if you would like to hear more from us, go to all relevant podcast platforms. I don't know why I'm saying this in the credits. You've just listened to the show. Hit us up on the socials. We've got an Instagram, apparently. We're on the X, the Twix, whatever it's called. I don't do young people thing. I don't think we're on TikTok because that's for young people. And we're on, obviously, Facebook. We're on Facebook. Come and hit us up on that. You can email us at sillyhistoryboysshow@gmail.com, or you could just write us a letter. As I've said before, if you want to write us a letter, just write Silly History Boys, stick it in the postbox, and it'll probably find its way to us. Put some cash in there. Or if you want to do something less risky with your cash, why don't you donate to our Ko-Fi, because it's always nice to get some money, because we put a lot of work into this, and it doesn't cost you anything, unless you pay some money, then it did cost you something. I'm rambling! Anyway, thank you very much for listening. I've got to go. It's been great fun. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
I want your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. All right, I'm in it. I'm half swallowed. I'm ready to do this. It's changing every time. Ready? Here comes the line.